This scene is fully loaded and drawn by homemade engine called Cross++. This video will be a short introduction into it. You may ask, what is the point to have another game engine which will give in by functional to industry standard solutions like Unreal Engine or Unity? First, this is an educational project. Being not overgrown like Unreal Engine or have a closed source code like Unity, this project will allow you to understand basics of engine architecture. Second, being lightweight, it will allow you to make smallest package possible. For example, final game executables could be less than 10 megabytes. So, let's go into it. First, I will show you how to get an engine. This is a freshly installed copy of Windows, nothing here, just to be sure that everything will be installed from the scratch. Let's go to our browser. We can just Google it, cross++ GitHub. The engine itself is hosted on a GitHub page. It's open source and free to use software. For easy access, we can download latest release. 5.0 is latest. There's a lot of precompiled binaries for every platform. Let's go for Windows one. I already prepared a folder, PC, D drive, game dev, cross Windows. Unpack our archive. How much it weighs? It weighs 46 megabytes. And this executable, we can launch it. Windows Protect. Of course, I know what I'm doing. And here we are. We are in a Cross++. What can we do here is look at some pre-made demo scenes. For example, one that I was showing you at the beginning of the video called Apocalypse Scene. It is located under Simple tab and here is button called Apocalypse Scene. If we click on it, the demo scene will be loaded. Here we can look around, fly around, play with some engine tools, for example, file manager, scene manager, components viewer, property viewer. For example, on scene viewer we can click on all the entities, look the components, look the properties of the components. At file manager we can see all the assets related to our project, stuff like textures, shaders, scenes, models, etc. But the most interesting stuff is source code. So let's go get it. Again, let's go back to the GitHub page. Here we can download source code. Let's go to download it. I think it is done. Right now we does not need any more previous stuff. Let's delete it. Let's unpack our source code. Little information about project structure. There's two main directories. First is completely related to the source code. The second one is related to the projects. I mean solutions for some IDEs, source code for the demo scenes and all the demo stuff and assets. We need projects, and as for Windows we have a Visual Studio project file. But firstly we need to download the Visual Studio itself. Let's go get it. We can Google Visual Studio download. We need a community edition because it is free. Let's put it under downloads. Save. Oh, it was fast. Let's open Visual Studio Installer. Before you will get started, we need to set up a few things that you can configure your installation. Oh, of course. Okay, let's see what do we need to install here. Python we don't need, .NET need, we don't need desktop development with C++. including MSVC. This is the most important stuff, Microsoft Visual Studio Compiler. Okay, let's go with the default ones, blah blah blah, compiler, love share. Also, I would recommend some of the previous version of MSVC. Let's go and install it. Installation is done. It is asking me to restart the Windows, but I think we could continue without it. Let's see what we have installed and try to launch our Visual Studio 2022. Sign up with Microsoft, skip, dark, start Visual Studio. Okay, Visual Studio working. After we downloaded our Visual Studio and tested out, we can go to our source files, go to the demo folder, go to the project, go to the Windows and try to open up Cross++ solution. This is a Visual Studio solution. It should be associated with Visual Studio and you can just launch it. After Visual Studio will load up, it should show all the project files related to our game engine, as well as some configurations available. For example, we can build it up with OpenGL, we can build it up with Glass, we can make it release configuration, we can make it 64 or 32-bit application. And this green little arrow should do a couple of things. First, it should build up binary executable from the source code, and then second, it should try to launch it. So let's go. Something is building. This C++ files was already built. And here we are. Successfully built an engine from source code. But what if you're not a Visual Studio fan? And the answer for that is CMake. If you go to our project, inside you can find CMake list project file and use any IDE compatible with CMake projects. Recently for myself I found CLion pretty cool IDE. So let's go try to build our engine with CLion. Our browser should help us again. Let's try to find CLion downloadable page. CLion download. Download CLion, a smart cross-platform IDE should be that we need. Windows version, of course. Thank you for download CLion. Okay, downloads folder, save and wait for download. Download is done. Let's install CLion. Welcome to CLion setup. Next. C program files, JetBrains, CLion, blah, blah, blah. Next. Create desktop shortcut, OK. Add bin to folder spice, OK. Update context menu, no. Create associations, no. Next. Install and let's wait for it. After we have CLion installed, let's try it out. CLion. Agreement. and confirm. Continue. Don't send statistics. Actually, CLion should be free for non-commercial use. Login. Well, unfortunately, you need to be registered in JetBrains and you need to be logged in order to use CLion. Allow. Authorization success. I agree with non-commercial use. Start non-commercial use. Okay, we are into CLion. It is time to locate our project. Press open. We are under game dev cross main. I found it better for CLion to work with root directory instead of directory where is CMake file located. So let's open up our root directory. And here we are. We are working with CLion. Now it is time to add our build configuration. I think that we can do it by locating our CMake file manually. This is it, CMake list.txt. Load CMake project file. Yeah, right click, load CMake project file. It's doing something. Let's wait. Oh, nice. We have some build configuration already. Debug. And again, our green arrow should build and run the source code. Let's go with it. Unfortunately, we are also stuck to Microsoft Visual Compile and it's doing its job right now. So without Visual Studio or at least some Visual Studio build tools, you wouldn't be able to utilize CLion. Oh, some errors. String was not declared in this code. Interesting. Well, our build failed and I have suspected that is because we was not using Microsoft Visual Studio compiler. Instead we were trying to build with GNU. Let's check it. No. Can we change it here? Yeah. Visual Studio. Apply. Okay. Now we need clean up our solution and rebuild it. Hopefully we will succeed. Oh yeah, our engine running, built from scratch from CLion. What is next? I cannot stop myself and want to show how this cross engine will be launched on MacBook, for example, on OS 6 operating system. So the next step we will switch there.